Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Shining Empathy. My name is Joel, and this is your weekly reading for January 23rd to the 29th, 2017. I don't think there's anything that I need to touch base on this week. I'm finally getting better from having been sick for the last couple weeks. I think the last reading I did, I was just finally was getting to the tail end of it, but finally, pretty much for the most part, on the other side of it now. So energy levels are returning. Let's see. Nothing I can think of. So I think I'm just gonna get into the reading. Usual routine, the Wings of Freedom spread with the angel cards. Keep an eye out for an unboxing review coming soon. I am getting a new deck that I've been really looking forward to for a while. I've been looking for a deck, literally been Googling decks that embody the Divine Masculine. And I've seen this one for a long time, and I finally pulled the trigger and got it. So I am excited to be working with those energies. Most of the decks I have are very strongly Divine Feminine, have a bit more of the Divine Masculine in some regards sometimes, but usually a predominantly Divine Feminine, or maybe a good balance of the two. I've never worked with a deck that's just predominantly Divine Masculine, so I am really looking forward to this. So keep in tune and look out for that. So without further ado, let's get into the reading. Let's see what's on the table this week that we need to know about. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on physically for us this week. Okay. It's interesting seeing synchronicity come up here. Apparently there's going to be some kind of challenge around physical synchronicity. My thoughts on this are kind of that it has more to do with patience. Sort of just waiting for things to happen in their proper time. And just kind of waiting for those synchronicities to happen, whether they be the things that we see in numbers or literally those coincidences of bumping into the right person or what have you. There's a challenge around that right now. And it's much more physical. This isn't something that's just happening in our minds. This is something that's happening in the physical world, physical synchronicities that we're not seeing or that we're having trouble with our patience of waiting for. And the cards are recommending that we express our creativity somehow physically. So some kind of physical art form, be it, doesn't have to be an art form, but just as long as it's a way that you express your creativity. I won't go into the list of all the kind of art forms out there. Most of us are aware of those. But there are ways to express yourself creatively that aren't just art forms. So say you're a person that doesn't really do art, you just have a hard time expressing yourself creatively that way. Maybe just literally get out a pen and paper and write down the stuff that's running through your mind right now, okay? Just literally, without a filter, just write it down. Make it physical. Not just on the computer, but like actually pen and paper, write it down. Get it out of your head. Just something like that can be a creative expression, okay? So don't have to get too wound up about, oh my god, I'm not an artist, how am I supposed to do that? There are other ways to express yourself creatively, and that's just one example, okay? So let's see what's going on in the mind. So difficulty maintaining balance in the mind right now. This is sort of a theme right now with mind, and I feel like this is just something that may be a constant thing because we are always sort of the mind is a bit of a battleground in terms of we're always sort of at war with our minds. We're always sort of dealing with the things that we're stressing about or worrying about or fixated on, obsessing about details. There's always something that we're kind of up in our heads about, or sort of it's not allowing us to be present. And that's not to say you should turn the mind off completely. Obviously, the mind is there, and it's a tool. It's meant to be used. It's a part of you, but it's not meant to run the show. So it's about finding balance, and we are out of balance right now. And the cards are recommending to just take a step back from it. Do something that lets you unplug from the mind. And maybe that was that express your creativity. Maybe that will help with that as well. But I'd actually go further. I would say do something that is sort of mindless, that lets you step out of your mind for a bit, whether that's maybe reading a book or watching your favorite movie, hanging out with a friend, whatever it is that literally lets you step away from your mind. Sometimes for me, a lot of that time would be going to a yoga class, because that would literally get me out of my head into my body. And that was my moment to breathe and take a step back from my mind. But there are all kinds of ways of doing that, so take a step back, okay? See what's going on in heart this week. Lots of challenges around animal energy in the heart this week. That tells me that potentially some of you may actually be dealing with putting animals down right now, or having recently put animals down, or maybe you're facing that. Maybe it's just a matter of you have a sick kitty, and that's just sort of creating some disarray right now in the heart, obviously pulling on the heartstrings. Whatever it is, but there are challenges with animals right now in terms of our heart and our emotional landscape. So the only recommendation that the cards are saying is open yourself up to those feelings and the moment and your animals. Be present with them for however long you can, or just be present with the emotions that are coming through. If, say, it's an animal that's already passed, this is a time now to open yourself to the feelings and the emotions and everything that the animals and the animal energy has brought to our lives, because they're such life companions. Like they are literally, I think of them as our physical embodiment of our animal guides. We bring them into our lives for a reason, the very specific type of animal energy. So it's time right now to open our hearts to that, to those emotions and the energy that they brought. So I really hope that it isn't as serious as that for most of you. And maybe this is affecting you third party. Maybe you're just, maybe this is something that's happened to a friend of yours or what have you, but it still sort of pulls on the heartstrings a bit, because I almost feel like we can grieve animals even harder sometimes than humans because of how much we project onto them of ourselves. But it does sound like this is going to be a challenging time this week for animals in the heart arena, okay? So, but stay open to it. Do not close the heart down, okay? Stay open. And in the realm of spirit, so it sounds like we're actually being asked to sort of take a vacation. It sounds like a lot of work has been done in terms of like just working on spiritual growth. Spiritual growth is just something that, in my opinion, it can be sought out and sometimes needs to be sought out, but typically life is what causes spiritual growth. Circumstances, events, all that stuff that literally forces us to grow. It's not something that we literally look at ourselves and point in and say, here, I need to grow here, and now grow. It's something that just sort of happens naturally throughout our lifetimes. Our bodies can actually be a great catalyst for that. When something happens with our bodies and we have to deal with that, it can often accelerate some kind of spiritual growth. But right now, the cards are saying that we sort of arrived at a bit of a spiritual growth place, a little bit of a plateau area, if you will. And they're saying it's time to just take a breath, but we're not necessarily feeling that. And maybe it's because of the climate, with what's going on with our own lives, with the world right now. But we're not feeling that ease. We're not feeling the ability to just stop and take a breath, because we've done a lot of the work. And the cards are saying that in order to be able to breathe, we need to focus on healing. We need to focus on healing energies, doing what we need to do for ourselves and for our health. So instead of actually focusing on what work needs to be done and neglecting health and healing, this is literally, I focus on your healing, focus on literally thinking in terms of, okay, if I'm going to focus on healing, what would I need to do on this level to heal myself, or this level, or this level? Particularly this week, we're looking at spiritual level. What can I do to like literally spiritually heal myself right now that will allow me to relax and breathe spiritually? I feel like we're getting a little bit of that on a couple different levels here, with the mind and with spirit. With mind, it was take a step back. But very specifically, I mean, when Archangel Raphael comes in, that means that that's some strong healing energies coming in there. So not surprising, given if a lot of people are having challenges in terms of the heart and animal area right now, then I'm not surprised at all that Archangel Raphael is coming up right on top of that, because it sounds like spiritual healing needs to happen. And sometimes the best healing that we get, say even just with our bodies, is when we just stop and rest and sleep. And the body can actually recuperate itself. It can gain and gather its resources and strength and energy again. And I would say that that's exactly what's happening here. The challenge is we're not resting, we're not breathing, and it's because we're not focused on the actual healing part. We're not focused on what it is we need spiritually to heal. So try and shift your focus a little bit right now. Instead of just what will allow me to grow spiritually or what do I need to work on, just think about what's going to let you breathe and heal right now. How can you bring more healing energies into yourself spiritually right now so that you can just relax spiritually? Okay. Now, last message from Spirit. All right, so intuition abound. We are getting knowledge from Spirit right now. We are being guided. Little whispers, if you will, every once in a while about what we need to do. We need to really quiet the mind and pay attention to that. However, if our mind's out of balance and other things are out of balance, it can be very hard to hear that. But at this time, during all of this, we are being given guidance. You are receiving that. So try to find that quiet place. Maybe, again, I'm an advocator of meditation, so this is something I'm going to constantly recommend, and I apologize if it's not specifically the way you like to do it. However it is you like to do that or find that quiet space, by all means, but I highly recommend meditation on a daily basis, especially for right now, and really try and listen to that guidance and those little whispers right now, because you are receiving them. One of the other places that you can receive those is in dreams. So maybe keep a dream diary for right now. If you're having a hard time during your waking time hearing that guidance, write down your dreams. Even if it's just little fleeting images or colors or just like a feeling, whatever it is, write down what you remember from your dreams. Have a little dream journal going on, and you might gain some insight just from being able to reflect on that, okay? And that is it for your weekly reading, everybody. All right. So I hope you all have a great week, despite some of the challenging stuff that we might be going through here. I still feel that it is a time to just sort of rest and relax a little bit. Time to just sort of take a break. Sort of what I'm getting here. I mean, the main message is coming through as far as what we need to actually do in order to get these challenges is expressing creativity, which is like an art form, something that's fairly relaxing for most people, taking a step back, opening your heart, healing. All these things suggest just a much more relaxed, airy, open space. It's not necessarily something that we need to crack down and have some real action about. This is more of a time of rest, I think, and healing. So heed that advice, please. And yeah, until next time, everyone, I hope you have a great week, and love and light to you all. Bye for now.